Hey guys, in this video I just want to cover a few of our breakouts in last Saturday's game. So I'll just get started right off the bat right here. This is the first period. The puck gets dumped in. Alright, now when we pause this position here, this is a somewhat pressured, like a semi-pressured breakout. Now if you're a good defenseman, you can take the puck and just go to the quiet zone. That's usually your best bet. Change this pressured breakout into a controlled breakout. If you don't know the difference, make sure to watch that breakout video. Now, Victor, I know you're playing wing, so you can go straight to the board. Or, the better option, in my opinion, like I talked about in the past few seasons with us, you're the second closest guy, so if Connor goes back here, it kind of makes sense for you to just act as the defenseman in this case right here. Right? When we set up our little trapezoid. Remember I talked about a wing on the board, other wing on the board, 2D back here. It looks like a trapezoid. I'll talk more about the center. But we have Ben going to the board. That's good. And in this case, it kind of makes a lot of sense for Carter to just act as kind of the pseudo defenseman, or he can go to the board also if Victor goes back here. Nolan, a little bit high. Our centers are staying kind of high, and I'll talk more about that, like I said. But let's continue to play it. So Connor, you get the puck. Alright, and instead of dangling it, why not just take the puck and move it back here? Now you have to make kind of this forced pass up the middle, and it sort of works out. It actually does work out. Okay, we'll see Nolan get the puck and skate up. Right, but really, it would have just been a lot easier if you either took the puck behind the net or use the board. Use the board. We never roll the puck along the board for some reason. Or I shouldn't say never, but we don't do it enough. So Ben's in the right spot, except, Ben, one thing I do want to mention, that's why I say butt on the board. When we do our zigzag passing, it's because this is going to happen a lot. If you rimmed it on the board, you got to be able to stop that with your skate. Right? These little subtleties make a big difference, guys. That's what makes a good hockey player into a great one. These little things make the big things happen. These tiny little subtleties. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to our next breakout. Alright, I haven't discussed neutral zone breakouts that much, so we'll just start getting right into it. And that happens typically when they just clear the puck out, and our D picks up the puck right here. Or maybe it's on the board, it doesn't matter. Now, usually our players are in the zone, they're trying to get out of this is the offensive zone, okay? So there's no confusion. Now, a neutral zone breakout is very similar to our regular breakout. The big difference, not big, but the D, do the same thing. You're going to back up a little. Back up to give your forwards room. You want to back up, kind of to your own blue line. And this D, instead of being in front of him, because he has the puck, I want you guys to stagger so that you're always behind the person with the puck. So you should come back here instead. Right? And then once that D makes the pass, I want this D to stagger back a little bit too behind him. The last person, or the last person, how do I explain this? The player closest to our goalie should not be controlling the puck. If he is, then someone has to get behind him. Okay. So let's start over. So D, you create a little more room, back up, and hopefully our other D's back here just slightly, just staggered slightly, and is calling for it. And so our forwards, this will give them time so that they can go back and get their butt on the board. And if they could inside reverse pivot, that's even better. Ideally, you want to see the inside reverse pivot. But in this case, if you're not able to, that's fine. Go back, butt on the board. This winger, same thing. Get back, butt on the board. This center is just going to shadow the puck, just like a breakout. And you should anticipate the swing quickly. Anticipate the swing. He moves up, and the play's going this way. Sometimes we can throw it right back to him. He throws it back, that's okay. Swing back this way. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what it looks like here. So they cleared out. Carter gets the puck. Alright, and Connor's calling for it. And yeah, instinctually, you should just throw it to him right away. Hockey IQ thing. A lot of players on this side too. So a lot of empty space on this side. So Connor's calling for it. So you see Victor kind of just, oh, where do I go? Where do I go? Go to a board. Just like a breakout. Again, it would have helped if you guys backed up, because this would have gave Victor more room too. Second thing, Connor, you want to go behind him, okay? You don't want to call for it going forward. All right, and then you got to stop calling from for the puck at this point. If you're still calling for it, it's gonna get picked off by this stick. Now you're just getting a little bit dangerous. All right, so you see two guys kind of in a useless spot. Threw it up the board, which isn't the worst thing. All right, so hold on. All right, so we'll see a lot of this too. Nolan, you see, sorry, where's my marker? Nolan, you see Ben on the board, then start getting towards the middle. Start going towards the middle. You're a center anyway, and it kind of makes sense for you to be a center in this particular play. All right, so this one doesn't look too clean. We'll work on this. Okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, and this one's gonna look very similar. Carter gets it, backs up a little bit. Connor calling for it. Okay, so my question to you, Connor, is if you receive the puck here, what are you going to do with it? Because if we still have all our players in the zone, you can't really skate it in. So back up, guys. And with that said, okay, these guys go out. So it makes sense. Nolan, it makes sense for you to be on the board here. You're the closest one on the board. Jameson would go to this board, and I think that's. Is that Frigo? Yeah, Frigo. It kind of makes sense for you to be a center, so you just shadow the puck. Instead, what happens is, so Carter waits for you guys to get on inside, and then he tries to dangle. All right. The problem is, it's suddenly a 1-on-4 with a lot of our players. Their momentum's going backwards. Right. So once they get out and you attack the zone, it's just 1-on-4. You're gonna have to go through a bunch of white jerseys. What makes more sense? Ideally, we want all five of us moving forward into the zone with a little bit of speed. Then you're gonna have passing options too. Even if you don't want to pass, you have options, so the team has to kind of play you honestly. Right. Here we're on a PK. So when we have 4 players, we're going to kind of skip the center role. We'd rather have the players on the board when we break out. So they dump it in. Connor gets the puck. All right, and your route to the puck, it's hard to explain, but you have a little bit. You can make this a controlled breakout, but it turned into a pressure breakout really fast because Nolan, number 2 here on the other team, forechecked you right away. Carter, your role should be to go on the other side immediately. Now he has no pass to you, so that kind of screwed things up. Alright, so let's go back a tad real fast. So Connor, your trajectory, you should already be. You want to look over, or you want to do a shoulder check first. Remember that, guys. Shoulder check. You see the pressure coming, you want to just kind of get the puck and get behind the net right away. Right? If he chases you, then that's when you can skate up and give yourself a little bit more room. Now we see Frigo is going to the board. Okay, good job. Except, if I remember, you're a little bit high. A little bit too high. And you'll see we get slightly burned for that. And I believe that's Jameson. He's actually in a good spot. Yeah, I think that's Jameson. So he's on a board. Same man. It's a little bit high. I want you guys lower. Face off dot or lower. Connor. I think you... Did you rim that? I can't tell if you rimmed it. Hold on. Let me see it one more time. Sorry. Okay, sort of rimmed it. Alright. And so you see how the puck took a little bit of time to get to you. If you were at this, whatever that sign is right here, you would have had the puck already. But because you're just a little bit farther, this is why I tell you guys stay low. You can't be too low. Right? Then that other player beat you to that puck and it became a 50-50. So little subtleties, guys. Little subtleties. If you're too high, if you're on this duck sign, too high. Get lower. No one's pressuring, yeah, you can be high. If not, stay lower. Here we go. Start of the third period. Neutral zone breakout. Matthias wins another face-off. He's won a bunch of face-offs, by the way. Guy pressures him right away. And Victor's trying to hustle the board. So that's actually a good job. I know you're trying to hustle the board, but Matthew throws it right away. Now, if you're a good defenseman, a great one, what you want to do first, right when you get the puck, if you can just back off just a little bit, give her teammates a little bit of time to get to the board. Because he's trying to hustle a little bit. That's where you back up a little bit. Now, one thing you can do too is you turn your back to him, and you can just throw it on your backhand. That would have bought you a lot more time too. Right? So get the puck, turn your back to him, and then throw it. It also helps to know how good the forechecker is. If it's a really good player, yeah, you don't want to mess with it too much. If it's someone that you feel you have a skill as, you can play a little bit more. One thing you don't do as a D guy is you don't try to dangle this guy. If you cough that, that's trouble. Connor, we're going to talk more about this in your personal video, but you have to anticipate him coughing this up. Right? This player should not be the last guy back. You need to already be going back. This is where I was talking about that staggering thing. Right, in case you're confused. Hold on, get rid of that. Right. If your other D's here, you don't want to call for the puck up here. You need to be behind him. If he messes up, he coughs it, throws it right at the guy's feet. You need to be ready to back him. All right. This is where you want to anticipate. Anticipate any bad play. Even if it's a good defenseman or good player, skilled player like Matt or Carter. You have to have good habits to back up. Ben, you just kind of following play going this way. No, go to the board. Go to that Chick-fil-A time. Matthias, good job here. To shadow the puck, you're actually going to circle this way because you should expect either a D-to-D pass or that quick one to the wing, and then you can start your center swing. Yeah. Right, and then you'll see just out of reach for Victor. Okay, if I were to do it one more time, let's start over. Right, okay, so good, and hustle the board, he's trying. All right, just a little bit late though. This one's pretty interesting. Xander on the other team throws it in. Now, what the vast majority of players will do is they'll just get the puck and they'll just launch it out. That's a somewhat unskilled way to play. This is a very smart move. You get the puck and you turn it into a controlled breakout. You retreat behind to your quiet zone. Perfect. Now, the only little thing is you expose yourself. See how you went past the net? Now Nolan, number 2, is going to forecheck you, and then you have to get rid of it right away. Right, so that first part is really smart. If you just stayed right behind the net, though, then you would have been good. Now, our other D, you want to mirror him. You go into the side of the puck. Once you see Carter retreating back here, you're going to stay in front of the net, and then once you feel like he needs help, you're going to jump out to the other side to give him a D-to-D pass. You're going to mirror him. So if Carter's on this side, you're going to be on the opposite, like that other diagonal, on the other post. All right, Carter moves like this way, you're going to go this way. Yeah. All right, so Nolan forechecks here. Now Ben, good job getting the board, and he opens up. Perfect. Well, not perfect. Yeah, again, you want to be right against that board. Right against the board. Little subtle difference. Victor, good job going to the board, but too high. You want to go lower. And then you're going to see kind of a double whammy here. Carter gets forechecked, and he has to get rid of it. And then he made a direct pass. So it's kind of funny because I show this example while doing the zigzag passing. This is exactly the pass that's really hard to handle. It banks a little bit too far from your stick, and it does that. All right, so double whammy in that. Instead of a direct pass, if you can't make a direct pass, you should just roll it. Just roll along the board, and it'll get to him. This isn't ring C either, so we can pick it up cleaner. The other problem, the other whammy part, is that you should have been lower. If you were lower, even if you're just like 2 steps lower, that actually will hit you right on the tape. Right? Big difference. Right? These possessions add up. Right? Every time we can control these, have these extra little possessions, these little wars, little battles, that's what wins the war. Right, I'll just play it in its full. I know I'm pausing a lot, so it looks a little bit confusing, but I should play it in its full sometimes. So then get to the last thing I want to mention actually, Matthias. All right, the center. You can't just be drifting anywhere. What you want to be doing as soon as that puck gets there is you're gonna kind of follow. The center is basically, if you guys see 2 guys along the board, then the remaining guy is gonna be the center. So you want to shadow the puck. You saw Carter go this way, and you're gonna kind of follow him. If you do it that way, then you're going to swing this way. You're not going to get the first pass. You're going to be around these areas, and we talked about, hey, this is a dangerous area. So you're almost never going to get that first pass. Get rid of some of these lines. Alright, so you're going to hang out in this area, that danger area, but you're usually not going to get the first pass. You're going to anticipate, so right when it gets to a winger, you're going to pick up speed so that winger can just quickly tip to you. Occasionally, yeah, you can be out here. Occasionally you can be out here if you see, hey, the other team's not really guarding me, you know, I'm the last guy back, yeah. That should be an occasional thing, not a regular thing. Yeah. Darn it, now I gotta replay the breakout, but it's just going to play and it's full. Right, so some good stuff, some negative stuff there. Hopefully we get better at this. Now I like this one. This one's kind of interesting too. So we have a battle here. Matthew picks it up and he wins the battle. Now if we look at this position, Carter's a D, right? At least his line in the lineup is a D. I think other coaches would say, hey, you're a D, you're supposed to stay back here. But you guys know me, I don't like that. If we look at, hold on, let me play just a bit more. You can't see Matthias right there, but Matthias is right behind Frigo. Look at this setup. It's almost ideal. Winger on the board, Frigo on the board. Well, it should be on the board. D here, D here. That looks like our trapezoid. So to me, it makes perfect sense that Carter plays center here. And he will. I have to say, Carter has very good hockey. When it comes to position versus positioning, I think Carter's understanding more about positioning than almost any kid in this division. And that was actually a pretty nice breakout. It almost worked. So watch this. Sorry, let me back it one more time. So Matthew wins the battle, rolls it along the board. Oh, and another thing. It would have been better if you rolled it on the board, right? Just a little subtle difference. You banked it, so it tied up Victor just a split second. But you see Carter playing a center role. Oh, I'm going to go up, and I'm going to go here. And rather than thinking about, like, I'm a center, I'm a winger, you want to think about, how do I help this guy? What's the best position? You know, how do I give him support? Right? And it almost worked. It would have been nice, too, if you banked it off the board, Victor. One thing that did scare me, actually, I should mention, too. I think you blind passed this. So you're like, I blind passed. Right? If you knew for sure he was there, that's a good pass. But don't do that blind. If you're going to do anything blind, then just throw it off the board. It's safer. And Carter would have picked it up and been off to the races. Yeah. Alright, so that's all for the breakouts. We'll get better at them. We've gotten better at it for sure. I think we're looking pretty good. And just getting our new guys kind of introduced as Frigo and not doing too bad. Alright, but we'll help you out there. Alright, so that's all for the breakouts.